up, everybody? I'm gonna send Jason the invite really quick, and then we'll be good to go. And now we wait. There we go. My dude,
Yo,
what's going on, bro?
what's up?
Not much. All right, just pulling up these questions real quick. How's the week and everything going for you?
It's going pretty good. How about for you?
Not too bad. It's freaking hot.
I know, tell me about it. It's over 90 degrees today.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You could see me though?
What'd you say?
You could see me?
Yeah. I would say just like tilt the phone up a little bit because right now I'm just looking at like your chin. Yeah,
Good?
there we go.
All right.
Dope. All right, so we already have a decent amount of people in here, so I guess he's a vanilla villain. Yo, I'm dead. That's hilarious.
So good, dude.
That's awesome. All right, so since we have a decent amount of people here, we could just hop right to it. I wanted to do this live just to kind of like talk about, I guess, like the backstory, if you will, of this event. Let people know like who you are, why you wanted to do this in the first place, and just like some of your like background when it came to lifting. I'm pretty hype about this. This is like this kind of event is what I love doing, just like bringing people together to just move weight and just see absolute monsters just go at it. Um, but like, tell me a little bit about yourself. So I know like you and I talked when you came over to work out, but tell me about like what got you into powerlifting in the first place and how long you've been lifting and also like coaching like athletes and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so like we discussed, I basically got into it from football.
Mhm.
So football for 5 years. I played 4 years in high school. I played a year in college. And like as time is progressing, I'd say towards like the end of my high school career, I found myself really gravitating towards, being more excited like for the weight room, for training than being on the field. I think that really happened, that switch happened when I began to realize like, okay, this stuff is gonna be here after I'm done playing. Like,
Yeah.
I can't play forever, and obviously, I wasn't like delusional. Like I didn't think about the NFL or anything like that. Like I knew after college that was it. So I was thinking ahead, basically, and I fell in love with it, man. I had a coach in high school that showed me powerlifting, and without him, I'm sure I would have arrived, but just like a little bit later.
Yeah.
But yeah, without him, I mean, he showed me like the basics and got me into it. It was all just like wanting to get stronger.
Yeah.
Like that was everything that was behind it. And I guess I've been doing it for, let's see, I'm 24. I started taking it, I'd say, pretty seriously, like once I turned 2020, I'd say 21, which is like right at the beginning of the pandemic, which is unfortunate. But I built up what I have in my garage, and I started taking it a lot more seriously then. I guess because like I had the time and the resources.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then from that point on, over this last year, I got with my coach Adrian from Villain Strength, and we've been working together. And that's like really when I switched it to a new gear, I think. And I started to get really interested in coaching. And in the past, I've like coached, friends and stuff like that. But I never wanted to call myself like their coach. Like they would always joke around with me and whatever. I just like, no, I'm just like showing you the ropes, helping you out, whatever. But I decided to take it more seriously because I really do enjoy it. I do enjoy watching people progress and just like just changing their mindsets on things. I know we talked about at your house, like, maybe like taking somebody who is more of like, like a downer, like they kind of look at themselves and they kind of put themselves down, and then like getting them to kind of rewire how they think, and then just watching them like grow and flourish, you know?
Definitely. Yeah, I love a lot of what you said, especially the fact that like lifting is something that you can get better at and that is going to be there for the rest of your life. You know what I mean? Like I think that that's a huge thing. I think that it's a great outlet for people that were athletes in like high school or college because it's like, hey, like you can still take care of yourself, you can still improve, blah blah blah, without I guess like some of the strain of some of the other sports. I also like what you said about like uh, kind of like helping people better themselves. That's basically the same reason why I like do what I do. I love helping people do stuff that they didn't think that they would ever do. So like as an example, some of my female clients, I had this one girl, she's like, oh yeah, I don't know, like I'm kind of intimidated, this and that, showed her the ropes, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna have you deadlift in the triple digits. She's like, no way, no way. And it was like 1 or 2 weeks later and she deadlifted 115.
Yeah.
And now she's, I think her best deadlift is 255 conventional.
Great.
So yeah, so it's awesome, and I love like helping people become the strongest version of themselves. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Um, you touched on it a little bit already, but like, when did you join Team Villain, and like, what made you decide to join them?
So it was last July. So it's almost been a year now, at the end of July. Um, Basically, you know, I had gone to Diesel and I was familiar with Adrian. We had talked a few times, and I knew he was like starting his own team, and I was interested, but I kind of felt like I should have like give myself, I don't, like, you know, when you hesitate, you wait, and then you're like, why did I do that later on? That's basically what I did, and then I just wanted to join him because like I know that he's a great guy and like he knows what he's talking about, and like he holds his athletes to a high standard, and like that's something that's important to me, and I think that's something I've taken from him and I've implemented also like with my athletes, is just like training to a standard, you know.
Yeah,
And I wanted to be a part of that, so I joined, and like I mean just like watching it grow over the last year has been crazy. Like I'm so happy for him. We got a meet in together, you know. That's something I was looking to do for the longest time. I got another one coming up in October, so it's a fun time, man, and I couldn't be happier that I joined this team, seriously.
nice, dude. That's awesome. Yeah, and like I know a handful of people like on the Villain team, but they're all like genuinely good people, but also are like kind of freakishly strong. So like as an example, like Ali coached me for I think it was like 6-ish months or something like that. But like in that time span of working with him, he helped me learn and like fix stuff that I probably never would have. You know what I mean? Just like you're saying, like that standard is very high, the knowledge base is very high. So like I'm definitely a huge fan of Team Villain. I love like what you guys are doing. Um, and like we kind of talked about it while you're here, but how have you liked the community of people there? Because I know you have some freaking monsters. Like, what's that dude's name? Costa? That dude
Oh
is.
yeah.
I'm just like, bro, he's outlifting me at a lighter body weight. I'm like, this dude is a savage. It's so
Yeah.
crazy.
It's always so fun, like especially watching these guys. You know, like I met him. I met Costa like before he even joined Villain. I went to Diesel one day and like we were just both benching and we were chopping it up or whatever. I never knew. I never thought in my mind that he'd be doing like what he's doing now.
Yeah.
And just like, everyone on the team, like I don't know what it is. Like there's like not even like that one guy who you're like, oh boy, like you know.
You just don't want to hang out with him.
Yeah, no, like so enjoyable to like be around, and it's just like everyone is so supportive and genuinely like everyone is a great person, and like it's kind of crazy. I guess like it mirrors like the coach, right?
Mm,
Like
yeah.
who they're taking on and everything. Like, and obviously Adrian knows that, and like he only wants to take on like certain people like that have this, you know, just like this character to them, right? And it just like it shows throughout the entire team because like I could meet someone who I've never spoken to that like just joined or joined recently, and it's like, you know, we're clicking, like everything's
Yeah.
cool, just like genuinely good people.
That's awesome.
But it's awesome, man. Everybody like everyone is such a great person, supportive, and everything like that.
That's dope. Also, what's up to my boy Toby in the chat? Looking forward to see you on Saturday. Let me see what's next. Oh, so what are some of the things that you'd like to see happen in like the fitness and strength and conditioning industry? I know you and I have talked about like some of our frustrations with some of like the younger heads and everything.
Yeah.
So like what are some of the things or what direction would you love to see, especially like the powerlifting community go?
Oh man, it's like one of those things. I don't know about you, but like I try not to like I pay attention, but I try not to like get into the like drama of things because it's just
Mm,
I don't know, man. But
yeah, yeah,
what I will say is like I think that and I've thought this for a little while. Or my belief is that some of the people who are like coming to it now that see all the content that's like posted on TikTok or like Instagram Reels and stuff, right? They're trying to emulate like what they see, and I mean that's usually how it goes for most things I know, but like
yeah,
I think especially for powerlifting, like that's just like detrimental to your progress because
yeah,
these guys like pulling 800-900 pounds like on TikTok or something, and then you go in the gym and then you're trying to literally copy them like their entire setup, like
right,
what they're wearing, like every single thing, and you're not really like learning your own body and your own mechanics, and like you're not really like making true progress. You're kind of just like burning yourself out over and over and over again because
yeah,
you like you want that, for lack of a better word, like clout online. And I think that's like the biggest issue right now to me is these younger guys. It sounds so weird saying younger guys
I
because like I
know,
don't
like we're not
yeah,
even
we're
30
not
yet. Yeah,
even old,
yeah,
but like seeing like I guess like 17, 18, 19, like I'll say that, like getting into it and just not taking the baby steps like necessary, right? I mean, you're gonna have like the outliers, like the freaks who just kind of hop in there and like they're just fucking awesome, right?
yeah,
But for most people, it's not like that, and I think it's like dangerous. It's a dangerous mindset to have. Like, what do you think about this?
yeah. So that's kind of like I have similar feelings, right? And
Yeah.
I'll let me touch on the chat first. Let me see. Yeah. So Toby and I actually became friends at TC&J because I saw him lifting and I'm like, holy crap, like this dude is putting up numbers that are wild. But like people used to be complete pricks to him and like super judgy and everything. And so like that kind of touches back on what I was talking about of I really want to grow this community. And just like you're saying with like you love like your team, I want to bring that to more and more people.
Yes.
So that's definitely something I'd love to see happen. I completely agree when it comes to like uh, the access of information is really crazy. I wish that we had this kind of access to information when we were growing up because I feel like we would be a lot better. But that being said, just like you said, like there's a lot of like BS and stuff on like TikTok and all the other social medias. So something that I would love to see is teams like you have, or like businesses like mine, or just like um, good strength coaches in general getting more recognition or having more information out there. I feel like there's just way too many people, just like you're talking about cloud chasing. So I definitely agree on that. Or like Bryant said, there's lots of people that have like freakish numbers, but aren't well rounded as an athlete. And that's how you can kind of tell, like, okay, maybe I should or shouldn't emulate this person because I'm not them. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's a good thing that people need to figure out for themselves. Let me
You
see.
know, actually, I want to just touch on this really quick because you mentioned like community, right? I feel like also there's a lot of people who kind of want to keep they kind of want to like gatekeep like strength training and like
Yeah,
powerlifting. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like they don't want it to get out to the masses. Like they want it to keep like this like niche little tiny thing to themselves. So then they don't want to like build a community. They want
hmm
to be like standoffish, right? And
yeah,
that's another thing to understand. Like, all right, I get how some people can look at like certain aspects of like a community and be like, oh, like maybe that's like too much, or maybe like that doesn't like maybe that doesn't fit me. Like, I'm not like that sociable, right? But
yeah,
I think in the grand scheme of things, like that is what's gonna like propel all this stuff upwards.
Right.
You know, people like, as human beings, we want to be part of a community. You
Yeah.
know, so, like that's just the way to go. I just want to give my opinion on that.
Yeah, dude. I definitely agree. And like that's also why like I'm not trying to be a fitness influencer by any means, but I remember like especially in like the early college days, just spending so many hours and like pretty much like all my free time on YouTube trying to figure out how to lift. So
Yes.
if I can provide more information to people that can help them, like I've done my job. Like I don't care about making all the money in the world. I don't care about having all the clout in the world. Um, yeah, so I definitely I feel you on that, dude.
Yeah.
Um, Let me see what else everybody else is saying. LOL. But yeah, so my next question for you, because we talked about the community and everything, is what made you decide to host the bench competition? And would you possibly want to do more events like this in the future?
Yeah. I mean, I'll touch on the first part. I really just wanted to do something for my neighbor. Um, you know, like we discussed, it's just like, you know, I couldn't imagine like being in that position. Like, you know, I'm not a parent, so like I don't know what it's like to have a child, but like to you know to lose your adult child like in that fashion, like so suddenly, and
Yeah.
then them leave behind like you know a husband and a you know infant daughter, like that just like struck a chord in me. I think
Hmm.
from like, a very personal level, like I grew up in a single mother household, so like I didn't grow up with my father, so like maybe part of it is like I'm putting myself in that child's shoes, like what their
Yeah.
life is going to be like growing up, you know. And granted, who knows? Like who knows really what it's going to be like? But you know, anything I could do to help
Yeah.
right now, you know, that's really important to me. And just like you know, just to be like a good neighbor, just to like be someone you know that they know in the future, like if they need to lean on, like they can come lean on me in
Yeah.
like my right and and that's just like what that's about to me. And like I'd love to continue to do stuff like this, you know, even if it's not just to benefit you know one family, like even if it's just more of a general like broad thing, like a theme for an event, like I'd be totally down, like a charity of any kind, or you know maybe helping out you know the local like homeless shelter, or, you know raising money to buy food, or maybe not even money, maybe like you know, food, just,
Yeah.
you know, to bring over there. I would love to do this stuff, man. It's just like, I feel like we all have these ideas and we all want to do things, and then they just kind of get lost in like our lives, our everyday lives, you know, because you know, everyone's busy, everyone's got stresses and everything like that. But, you know, to really, like, when I hit you up and I, for those that don't know, I like hit you up asking, like, who makes your promotions? And then you were just like, boom, like, let's do this. And I was
Yeah.
like, okay, like, let's go. And just watching that, like, become like a real thing, like, it's just awesome. Like, I can't explain, like, how awesome that is, you know?
Yeah, dude. I definitely feel you. And like I love again, like all this ties together so well. You talked about like gatekeeping and stuff. Like I find it so cool that you and I can even sit down and have a conversation. Like we don't know each other super well, but it's like, bro, I get to talk to somebody that benches fours, whatever, squat deadlift sixes. Like that's so wild to me. You know what I mean? Because there's so much time and effort that goes into what we do.
Yeah.
Um, and it's also dope because lifting in general can be very, very selfish because it's pretty much just like you putting in the work or you taking care of yourself, making sure that you do like checking off all your boxes, blah, blah, blah. So
Yeah.
to do events like this, where it's like not about us, it's about somebody else, I think is very, very dope. And I think that it kind of, uh, I think that there's like more so for bodybuilding, but there's a lot of like negative connotations when it comes to just people in the gym in general. Like everybody thinks that a lot of them are very selfish, but they're actually like really, really good, like down to earth people.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, dude, like when you hit me up, and I was like reading what happened, I wanted to be helpful, but there was just like something inside me was saying like it's not enough. You know what I mean? Like just giving you the information on how to get like a proper flyer was not enough. Um, and I feel like the timing was perfect because like this year, like full transparency, this year has been very, very hard for me, like motivation wise. Like I just like don't really feel the need to do certain things. So when I was thinking about hosting my bench competition, I didn't really feel like the drive to train for it or like to put in a lot of effort when it came to promoting and everything. But then when you hit me up, I'm like, no, like we have to do this and we have to do this right because like this again, like it's bigger than me, it's bigger than you. So I'm
Yeah,
like very, very excited to see how this turns out.
yeah, seriously. You know, like I couldn't have done it without you, and I appreciate you wanting to be a part of it and like really like make this a reality.
Yeah, definitely. So my last question is, what is your goal for like the upcoming bench competition and how can people support the family or how can they support the event?
Well, my goal, I want to just get as many people there like as we can. You know, even if they're not participating,
Yeah.
spectating, which I've had a fair number of people like hit me up who want to go but aren't going to like compete, and I mean that's awesome. Like just to get people in there and just to like see the outcome. And I mean, you've gone over how like you're gonna have you know your chef is gonna be there,
Oh,
right?
yeah, yeah, the meal prep service. Yeah.
That's awesome, dude. Like I told a few of my friends that, and they were like, "Wait, what?" And I'm like, "Yeah, like I'm telling you guys, like come out, you know."
Yeah.
Uh, and it's just just to get as many people there and just as much help as possible, and also like just from like a community aspect, like you know I'm gonna like meet a bunch of people that I don't know. A bunch of people are gonna meet me that I don't know, and like we're all gonna have this thing in common now for the rest of the time that we're alive.
Yeah.
That we all came here and we all participated and we all tried to help this family, and we did it together. And like to me that's awesome. And what was the second part of your question? I just like went on a tangent.
Oh, just like how can people help support the family? So right now, I feel like the main thing that we just posted about is like if you want to come through, all like the money donations are going to go straight to the family. But is there anything else you could think of that maybe they might need or that people can do to help?
Yeah, I would say if people want, um, I mean, we could diapers, like diapers. If you want to bring diapers, like for a 9 month old baby girl, like that would be perfect. I'm sure that they would appreciate that like tenfold.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure getting a bunch, but like more the merrier. You know what I mean? And honestly, I actually forgot to mention this to you when I was with you the other day training, but I have a friend of mine who does art, and
Oh no.
I asked if he could get like a poster board or a canvas, sorry,
Mhm.
and he's going to write something on there, and everyone who is gonna be there, we're gonna have everyone sign it.
Oh, that's
So
sick,
it's
dude.
like a
That's
visual
awesome.
how many people like we got together to support them in like this time that they could have to see like for the rest of their days, like, oh, these people all came together to help us, like
Yeah.
like it's possible like no matter like who's what or where, like what anyone believes, like we can get people together to help people in a time of need, you know.
Definitely, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I again like I like what you said about like just being able to network and like meet different people. Because again, like the first time I met you was at Chino's deadlift competition. What was that, like 2 years ago at this point?
2 years
Um,
ago.
and it's crazy how just like certain events like this, like you're talking about, like develop connections that you're not going to expect that will come in handy, whatever, a couple of years down the line. But yeah, so I'm really excited for everything. I appreciate everybody for joining this chat. I feel like that's all I wanted to cover. I wanted to keep it pretty brief, just so that way we don't lose people with like long conversation. But um, yeah, dude, I'm really excited. I'm gonna be setting everything up like probably Thursday night through Friday. So if there's anything you want to drop off or whatever, just let me know, and you can definitely come through and we can set everything up.
All right, man, that sounds awesome. I'll definitely hit you up and we'll get that done.
Cool. All right, my dude. Well, then I will see you soon, and I will talk to you later.
I'll see you. Thank you for the opportunity to talk on the interview, and thank you for everyone that
No
watched.
problem. All right, everybody. I'll see you guys.